Okay, for this series of videos, we are going to be figuring out what the names are of all of these notes on the piano keyboard. It's important to remember how our musical alphabet works. There are 7 letters in the musical alphabet. They go from A to G. What happens when you get to G? It doesn't go to H, it cycles back to A. So in essence, the musical alphabet goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, over and over again. I think a lot of you might already know that, but if that's a new concept for some of you, it's important to know that before we begin. Let's get a starting point in identifying these notes. And if you'll notice, the black keys are in a pattern all the way up and down the piano keyboard. They're in groups of 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, and 3 all the way up and down the piano keyboard. We're going to find the group of 2 black keys that are in the middle of the piano keyboard. Usually you'll find them by the name of your piano. If you're playing a smaller keyboard, they won't be exactly in the middle, but find the group of 2 black keys that are closest to the center of the piano keyboard. And what you're going to do is identify the key that's on the left of those 2 black keys and slide down to the very next white key to the left of this key. Okay? That is going to be a C. More specifically, it's middle C because it's in the middle of the piano. I can use the same technique to find other C's on the piano. For example, here's a group of 2 black keys. If I slide my finger down to the left and play the very next white note to the left of this note, this black note, that is also a C. Here's 2 black keys. I slide down here and play this white note to the left of this black note, and that is also a C. And I can do this all the way up and down the piano keyboard, identifying all the C's. But this one right here is middle C because it's in the middle of the piano keyboard, and that's where we're going to start. Now that we've identified where C is on the piano keyboard, it's relatively easy to figure out what the rest of the names of all the white notes are. So this is C. Well, if you know how the alphabet works, what comes after C in the alphabet? D. This note would be D. This is E, F, G, and then what happens after G? It doesn't go to H, it cycles back to A again. Here's B, and here's C. Oh look, here's our 2 black notes. Slide down 1 to the left, and there's C. Now if this is C, what comes before C in the alphabet? B, A, and then what do? We have to go backwards, and we go to the end of the musical alphabet, and there's G, F, E, D, C. It's very common for young musicians and people starting out in music to count up notes on the piano. That's natural, so don't be intimidated to count your notes. Eventually, though, you'll start to figure out that you can use the black keys to find notes on the piano keyboard, the same way that we found C. What do I mean by that? Well, for example, this is a D. See how this D falls in between these 2 black notes? I can find other D's on the piano keyboard by using that technique. For example, this is D. See how it falls in between these 2 black notes? This is D, falls in between these 2 black notes. This is an F. See how it falls to the left of this group of 3 black notes? This is also an F. See how it falls in to the left of these 3 black notes? And you could do that all the way up and down the piano keyboard. And that's how you figure out what the names of the white keys are on the piano. Now that you know the names of the white keys on the piano keyboard, let's talk about the black notes. The black notes are going to be your sharps and flats, or a more fancy musical term for that would be accidentals. And accidentals are sharps and flats. Sharps are when notes go 1/2 step or 1 semitone higher in pitch, and flats are when you go 1/2 step or 1 semitone lower in pitch. What do I mean by that? It's very easy, I'll show you. This is a C. If I want to play a C sharp, I need to play the very next black note to the upper right. That's a C sharp. And when I write C sharp, the sharp looks like the number sign. It looks like the pound key on your phone. It could even be a hashtag. Some people say it looks like an italicized or lopsided tic-tac-toe. But this is C. This is C sharp because I need to go 1/2 step higher in pitch. This is an F. If I want to play F sharp, I need to go to the black key to the upper right to play F sharp. This is a D. I want to play D sharp, so I go 1/2 step higher in pitch or to the upper right, and that is D sharp. Flats work the opposite way that sharps do. They move to the next black key down to the left. For example, this is a D. If I want to play D flat, I've got to go to the very next black key down to the left. That's a D flat. This is a B. If I want to play a B flat, then I have to play the very next black key down to the left. Why am I saying down? Because you can hear the pitch go down every time I play a flat. This is an E. If I want to play E flat, I have to play the very next black key down to the left. And you probably noticed that the flat sign looks like a lowercase b. If you get your sharps and your flats confused, a little trick that I used to use to help me remember the difference between flats and sharps, what happens to a tire on a car when it goes flat? It goes down. And flats go down in pitch on the piano the same way the tire does on a car when it goes flat. In this part of the video, we're going to talk about enharmonics. And what does that mean? That means when a note can have two names. So let's talk about some examples. This is a D. This note right here is D flat. This is our C. That's a C sharp. So this note right here has two names, D flat and C sharp. Let's do another one. This is F. This black note right here is F sharp. This is G. This is G flat. So this note right here has two names. It could be F sharp or it could be G flat. So again, what does that mean? That means that when a note has two names, it is enharmonic. Now remember when I told you that every single note on the piano keyboard has two names? It works the same for the white notes as well. For example, here's a B, B flat. Here's a B, B sharp. There is no black note between B and C, so we have to go to the very next note up, which just happens to be a white key. B, B flat, B, B sharp. Let's do this one over here. E, E flat, E, E sharp, C, C sharp, C, C flat. Now, in music, seeing white notes as sharps and flats is kind of rare, and as a beginner, you're really not going to see a lot of that, if you even see it at all. But it's something that you really need to understand exists, that and make sure you know that every single note on the piano keyboard can technically have two names, and that's called enharmonic.